I guess just in general, how's everything going with this spring for the offense?
Oh no, it's been really good. Some systematic things to help make us better. You got two really talented young quarterbacks. Aaron Steinfeld's improved. Just from tight end position, I think that whole position group. From Steinfeld and Trey Walker. And then we'll get Bamba back in the summer. And I think all those guys have really improved. And so just really excited about where we are. And then Coach Bosted's already starting to make his mark in the O-line room, and just excited about their improvement and the direction they're going as well.
When you look at both Sorsby and Taven, just what are, I guess, some things that each of them are doing well, and some things that each of them kind of have to continue to work on?
Well, I wouldn't say. Well, from a well standpoint, they're complete ball. For the majority of the part, they're keeping the ball out of harm's way. We've been through 14 practices. A lot of reps. We're probably in the thousands in terms of team repetitions now, or competitive team reps. Very few turnovers. Not a lot of the things you would typically deal with young quarterbacks, from line of scrimmage issues. And they've both taken turns doing a really nice job of moving the ball. But, they're still young. There's still some mistakes there that we can clean up. Even though they may be small, not super visible. There's a lot of things that we can improve on. But they're both really physically talented. They both love football. They both compete well. And they're both also really true to themselves and authentic in terms of their personalities. There's, nobody's pretending to be. They're just really confident in themselves and excited for both those guys. And then Brock Lowry is an early enrollee freshman. He's had a really good spring, and so really excited about him. And then, Dex has kind of been wearing his coaching hat a little bit. He's been helping Signal, and and we're kind of treating him like a GA right now, and I think that's been really good for him too, not only from the mental side of things, but just his general outlook and demeanor. So excited about all those guys.
Where's Dex at physically?
I know he started to run. And he's doing great. And obviously, Dr. Andrews, who did the surgery, is kind of world-renowned. And the fact that he did the surgery kind of, speaks for itself. And, but he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing. But in terms of ahead of schedule, behind schedule, on schedule, that's way above my ability level. I just know that he looks good, and he's starting to move around, and he's a great kid. Can't wait to get him back.
You mentioned the quarterbacks just being young and kind of working through some mistakes. Just how have you seen them kind of respond to adversity and kind of take to your coaching?
From a respond to adversity standpoint, on the front end, you always try to address that, like, the only way to mastery in any skill in life, weightlifting, business, boxing, wrestling, like, the only way to mastery is through failure. Like, there's gonna be failure every day. The best weightlifter in the world, it's not like he hasn't missed a lift or two in his lifetime. And so, I think on the front end, you got to do a great job of every day. The name of the game is just continuous improvement and trying to be better than you were yesterday. And if that's the mindset, then the failure's a lot easier to handle, knowing that, like, no one's ever had a perfect day. And so I think from a handling adversity standpoint, I think they've done a really nice job. Obviously, I as you can tell by the tone of my voice right now, I've kind of lost my voice. We create a lot of adversity for my guys. And try to put them in some really rough positions, because if they can't handle us, and the meat of a practice, it's going to be hard to handle somebody we got to play on Saturday.
There's been a lot of There's been a lot of quarterback turnover the past couple seasons here at Indiana. How have your guys adjusted to playing with different quarterbacks at different skill sets?
Oh, I think we're fine. I think our quarterback room is right where we need it to be. All of them are athletic. They don't move. They all have the physical ability to throw and distribute the ball. I feel really good about that.
As far as Jalen Lucas, just how have you seen him get better since last season? What do you like about just, like, maybe the leadership really?
Well, on top of probably two of the greatest runs I've ever seen in my life, the shame of both of those runs is that they were behind closed doors. Just the fact that he has done a great job mentally of doing all the things we've asked him to do. As a young guy, it was pass protection, smaller role. Now he goes everywhere, and he's playing all over the field, and so wide out, running back on free release, running back in pass protection, running back, running the ball. He's now really becoming a true multi-purpose tool. We still got to continue to evolve and develop those skills in the throw game. But if he gets it, enough times, we're going to have a chance to be in every game that we play.
the 2 runs behind closed doors, was that during practice?
Oh yeah.
What can you
It just
what would it
make a lot of people miss and outrun everybody else. So if you can use your imagination, that's just imagine people falling down and him running that way real fast. And so he's got a really special gift, one of the better ball in hand players I've ever been around. So he's fun to coach.
I know as the OC, obviously you're involved in all the positions, but I know receiver's one that you really get involved in. What have you seen? Obviously Cam's out, so it's allowed maybe some other guys to get some reps.
Yeah,
from the new guys and some of the young guys.
Well, to me, like E.J. Williams, like he's number one, he's got great physical ability, and number two, he's got great toughness. And like just there every day, working every day. He. You name an injury or a nagging thing that a wideout has, whether it's, your feet, your ankles, your knees, just not feeling great, and he's out there every day. I think Donovan's really improved. Omar Cooper has been really good. Anderson's been really good. One of the guys that we've got to start seeing, from an elevation standpoint, not necessarily from a physical ability standpoint, is Cameron Perry. Because again, he's still a young player. He's still a freshman, and so he's got to do a great job. He did a great job this spring. Now we got to continue doing it this summer so he can become a productive player for us in the slot.
On him real quick, he's kind of similar to Jalen. He's kind of size-wise and quickness and burst. It looks like maybe you not giving away too much, kind of use him in the same way. I mean, how nice is that? A guy who can kind of do that.
Yeah,
Two guys who can do what they can
absolutely. Especially in some of the run elements and perimeter screen elements. The great thing about having a guy like KP is he's got a natural set of receiver skills. Where Jay Lou's a natural receiving skills, but if you lost either one of them, you wouldn't lose the element of everything. Simply because they can kind of, mix and match. Because they're both really good ball in hand players. They're bouncy, twitchy, great short area quickness. And so it's just again elevating both of their skills where they can be really productive players for us in the fall.
What have you seen from the O-line this spring with Coach Bostad, and which if any guys have you kind of seen improvement from?
Yeah, number one, just the amount of repetition. It's incredible how much work those guys do during a normal day. So they probably don't. They're probably a little beat up right now at the end of spring, knowing how much work those guys have gotten. But I think just a lot of improvement, within the techniques and fundamentals, but Coach Bostad has done a great job. Zach Carpenter had a great spring. Mike Kadick had a great spring. Max Loman, who transferred to us from Massachusetts, had a really good spring. Khalil Benson's kind of becoming a multi-positional player. He's played a ton of guard, played it well, played tackle, played it well, and so now you're starting to build some depth. Young Carter Smith has really started to improve. Cooper Jones making the swing from defense to offense, will probably give us some valuable reps at some point. But, really excited for all those guys, that there has been improvement there. But again, it's got to continue. We got to continue to improve this summer and into fall camp.
What's the difference going into spring camp when you have a starting quarterback compared to when it's a quarterback competition like here? Right?
I think for me, sometimes it can be a good thing, because now so many times when you go into an offense and you got a proven guy, it's kind of hard to hold the other 10 to an unbelievable, a really high standard. When you're not holding the quarterback to a high standard because he's been there and he's done that, when there's a legitimate competition and you're competing every day and every rep matters, I think that bleeds over into the performance of the other 10. Now, do we all want to be in a position where we know we've got the guy and everything's great and, 2 years from now when they're, seasoned and, they're really, really, really good because they all had, all three of those kids had the ability to be really good players. Yeah, we'd all love to have that happen, but sometimes I kind of enjoy it just simply because the edge and the urgency that gets set between competition between people, and it's no different now at the quarterback position than it is at right tackle or left tackle or wide out or running back, and sometimes I think that's a good thing.
What's been your impression of Christian Turner transferring in, and I guess with that kind of having, last year, oftentimes 3 running backs kind of contributed. Do you see it playing similar?
Yeah, Christian's going to be a really good player for us. He a couple bumps and bruises he's had throughout the spring, but big, physical. He can slash. He's got really good vision, between, him and Josh, in terms of, the bigger, thicker guy. I think we're well equipped. I feel good about both those kids.
I'm curious of when.
Last one for what?
I know when you were recruiting Taven and you went to the basketball game, them chanting, the student section chanting his name. What all just do you remember from that, and just kind of the process of like?
Yeah, I mean, it happened fast. I mean, the ultimate truth of it is I was in Los Angeles, California, recruiting a transfer quarterback. I walk out of that house. Coach Allen says, "Get on a plane." You know, and as I pull my phone out of my pocket, I've got 97 messages because Taven Jackson went to transfer portal. So I took a red eye, landed, okay, just in the clothes that I was traveling in, and just came to the building. You know, like no Indiana gear, no nothing. I go to a basketball game, I'm the only guy there not in red. I'm like just in stuff, you know, like 'cause that's the only clean clothes I had. Because you know during the day I'd been wearing my Indiana recruiting stuff and only planned out being there for 2 days, and just showed up. So whatever I had in my bag, I wore it. Showed up, you know, and it happened really fast. There wasn't really kind of a true recruitment. You know, we had a day with them, you know, and they decided to come, and that was that. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the day.